Hi folks, Sir Travis Truman here with Series 2 of Truth TV. Now today I'm going to discuss a torture victim creation of society that doesn't fit the normal mould of the featured victims that often appear on my website and my other truth-based videos. I'll bring up the photo file here. This is an Australian woman who is called Rigini Narayan. Now I may have pronounced that wrong, folks, because it's more of an Indian type name, but the spelling does appear on your screen. Now she is a tortured victim creation of society, and because of years of extreme abuse, maltreatment and indoctrination of lies and myths, she entered the room of her husband, set him on fire, which resulted in the end in the death of the husband and the destruction of their home. Now folks, some of you may think that I'm going to go into a standard or she's the victim of child abuse and so on. Well, in this case, folks, that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes, folks, the case requires very individual and specific analysis. The form of child abuse that Rigini was subjected to is more along the lines of myths and lies and superstitious nonsense. Society has promoted things like marriage, the romantic love myth, and of course the insane concept of cheating, which we'll come back to in a moment. Now this woman was married, of course, and her husband was quite violent and enraged himself, and he used to take that rage out on her and give her violent beatings, thus causing her serious emotional problems, rage and anger herself, which she bottled up and suppressed. So in this case, folks, there may not have been severe child abuse in terms of physical and sexual abuse against her, but more in the terms of dementing her mind with insane mythologies, thus rendering her unable to recognize truth and think in a sane way. So she's a bit like someone who's mentally incompetent, folks. She's a bit sick. But this is just because of what her society sponsored and promoted to her. Okay? So, you see, she had believed that her husband had done something called cheating on her. Now this is a completely invalid and ridiculous idea, but this has been foisted upon her and basically brainwashed into her by society. Even though it doesn't represent truth, she believes in the concept of marriage and cheating. Now, the concept of cheating, folks, is utterly insane and baseless, as is marriage and the romantic love myth. The fact is, folks, is that it is completely unnatural and incompatible with human biology, okay, to have a lifelong marriage. Okay? People often want to have sexual intercourse or relations with other people. It's just natural, folks. You know, and nothing is being cheated from you. What's being cheated? Nothing. Nothing's being taken away. If you don't believe in marriage and the cheating ritual, then you won't be hurt, because it's just a circular belief. You're only affected by it because you believe in it. And of course the marriage as well is completely and absolutely insane. Had victim Rigini, when she was being violently assaulted, not believed in being sort of pushed into staying into the marriage by society and societal pressures, she probably would have never even got herself into this situation. Had she not been indoctrinated with the insane doctrine of cheating, that she probably would have never even considered attacking her husband with an arson attack. So, people, they could just satisfy their own sexual needs. It's just because they're needy, they're clingy, they need to control people as if they were property. They don't really love each other. They just need to delude each other that they love each other. If it wasn't for insane spiritual beliefs and things like that were reflected on her, including the crazy idea of people walking through fire to cleanse them or purge them of sins and other mental derangements, this would have never have happened. So, folks, Rigini is the victim of societal lies and myths, including cheating and marriage. And of course she's the victim of extreme abuse within the marriage ritual, which is fully sponsored by society. So, folks, as you can see, again, this situation only came about because of the values of society. Should she be punished? No. She's a tortured victim creation of society, and society has got no right whatsoever, to try and penalise or harm her further or blame her. But society does that all the time for crimes. And we must remember this for comparative purposes, because Rigini has been, even though she's been found guilty of manslaughter, she's been released on bail. And I've got no doubt whatsoever, folks, that she will receive a very lenient sentence. After all, she burnt someone to death and burnt down somebody's house. But she's still, after being found guilty, allowed to walk around on bail. Why is this? This is simply because, folks, that she did so in such a way that upholds and threatens all husbands not to cheat and to obey their insane marriage rituals. It is to try to bolster the marriage ritual and the insane societal delusion of cheating. It's not for any concern of her. Society was never concerned about the welfare of victim Rigini. This system, just simply seeks to send a message that if you use violent and crazy acts, because you're angry at someone who has disobeyed some kind of insane cultural and societal decree, you'll be dealt with very leniently in order to encourage these acts and therefore threaten and terrorise individuals into trying to obey these insane societal institutions. This again, folks, is proof that society is utterly deranged. Because, for example, if somebody else had done the exact same actions, because, say, the person was going to dob them in for something or was a serious threat to them, they would receive a huge jail sentence for the exact same actions. Just because victim Rigini did so because she believed in the institutions of society, she's been given a very lenient treatment. This doesn't make sense at all, folks. It's just utterly deranged. Utterly, totally deranged. But that's the way society is run. Well, folks, so there it is. Victim Rigini. Tortured victim creation of society. So, not all cases, folks, are matters of extreme physical and child sexual abuse. This may well be a case where such abuse did not occur. It was other forms of abuse that demented the mind through societal myths and lies, combined with violent assaults sponsored by society through the marriage ritual, that pushed this victim over the edge. Of course, folks, That doesn't mean that there may have well been severe child abuse, and there probably was. But this is a different case where such abuse may not have occurred to a serious and significant extent in other cases. Does that reduce the victimhood status of victim Rigini? Absolutely not, folks. She did as her true reality dictated. And her true reality and those insane lies were foisted upon her by her society. So, folks, this has been Travis Truman with Truth TV Series 2. And I strongly suggest, folks, because this is a very complicated case, that you visit my website and look up the marriage ritual, family unit structure, child abuse, and the concept of cheating, and even email me for further discussions if you are interested in this case or just criminal cases involving the marriage ritual in general. I'll see you next time, folks, on Truth TV, and until then, I hope that you research this case and think about what your insane societal delusions wreak upon everyday lives.